Okay, we're going to start the meeting. Notice is hereby given of the regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Town of Westfield in the County of Union, New Jersey, at 7:30 p.m. on the evening of January 3rd, 2019, in the boardroom of the Administration Building, 302 Elm Street, Westfield, New Jersey. The purpose of the meeting is to transact the regular business of the board and to transact any other business to come properly before the board. This is to advise the general public and to instruct that it be recorded in the minutes that in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, entitled the Open Public Meetings Act, the Westfield School Board on Friday, December 21st, 2018, caused to be posted at the office of the Board of Education, located at 302 Elm Street, Westfield, New Jersey, and delivered to the Westfield Leader, the Star Ledger, the Westfield Library, Town Clerk of Westfield, Tap into Westfield, and Patch.com, a meeting notice setting forth the time, date, and location of this meeting. Please stand for the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At the annual election held on November 6, 2018, Gretchen Olig, Tara Porto, and Charles Ostroff were all elected for 3-year terms. Congratulations to the three of you. At this point, we will take a roll call. Lynn Benner.
Here.
Michael Beelan.
Here.
Kent Diamond.
Here.
Brendan Galligan.
Here.
Gretchen Olig.
Here.
Peggy Astor.
Here.
Charles Ostroff. Amy Root.
Here.
Okay, the first item on the agenda is nominations for board president. Do we have a nomination?
I would like to make a motion to nominate Peggy Oster for president of the board. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Brendan, thank you. So I think you guys know that, well, first of all, it has been a real pleasure and honor to serve as president of this board for 3 years. But the real pleasure has been being able to serve with Peggy, and she is thoughtful and considerate, and she listens better than just about anybody that I know. And so I think she would serve us very well in the year to come. And I hope that you would all agree with me.
Any other comments before we take a roll call vote? Lynn Benner.
Yes.
Michael Beelan.
Yes.
Ken Diamond.
Yes.
Brendan Galligan.
Yes.
Gretchen Olig.
Yes.
Peggy Astor.
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
At this point, congratulations to Mrs. Astor.
Thank you very much. I look forward to an exciting year. I mean, I do enjoy being on the board. I think I learn every day, and I get to collaborate with these wonderful people here on the board who work here in our district and with all of you, and I think we do a great job and look forward to great things ahead of us. And thank you, Gretchen, for the kind words. What did you say?
Luckily, it's on tape.
Go to the videotape.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay. From here, okay. I thank you, and I'd like to call for nominations for the election of Vice President. Is that it? Brendan?
I'd like to nominate Amy Root for Vice President. Okay. Thank you, Mike.
I didn't get to ask for a
No,
second. Second from Michael.
In the 2+ years we've worked with Amy, she's proven herself time and time again to be a very dedicated and committed board member, and the perspective she brings through her ties to all the outside organizations will be a great strength to the board in a leadership capacity.
Okay.
Thank you.
Else? Dana?
Lynn Benner.
Yes.
Mike Beelan.
Yes.
Kent Diamond.
Yes.
Brendan Galligan.
Yes.
Gretchen Olig.
Yes.
Peggy Astor.
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So now we play musical chair.
I was thinking musical chairs came before that, but I love games. Okay.
Good seeing
See you from across the room.
you.
Take that.
I'll
come back.
Back.
That's all you
You coming down?
need. Sure.
Thank you.
Dana.
Thanks, all media.
Dana.
I think I'm winning in Scrabble or something.
Okay, I hope I can do this as well as Gretchen. She does it sort of rote. As part of our reorganization, we would like to refresh our memory of the code of ethics that we all follow, and acknowledge and agree that a school board member shall abide by the following School Board Association Code of Ethics for school board members. And if each of us could read these one at a time and go around the table. Lynn, if you could start.
I will uphold and enforce all laws, rules, and regulations of the State Board of Education and the court orders pertaining to schools. Desired changes shall be brought about only through legal and ethical procedures.
I will make decisions in terms of the educational welfare of children and will seek to develop and maintain public schools that meet the individual needs of all children regardless of their ability, race, creed, sex, or social standing.
I will confine my board action to policy making, planning, and appraisal. And I will help to frame policies and plans only after the board has consulted with those who will be affected by them.
I will carry out my responsibility not to administer the schools, but together with my fellow board members to see that they are well-run.
I will recognize that authority rests with the Board of Education and will make no personal promises nor take any private action that may compromise the board.
I will refuse to surrender my independent judgment to special interest or partisan political groups, or to use the schools for personal gain or for the gain of friends.
I will hold confidential all matters pertaining to the schools which, if disclosed, would needlessly injure individuals or the schools. In all other matters, I will provide accurate information and, in concert with my fellow board members, interpret to the staff the aspirations of the community for its school.
I will vote to appoint the qualified personnel available after consideration of the recommendation of the Chief Administrative Officer.
I will support and protect school personnel in proper performance of their duties.
And the last one, I will refer all complaints to the Chief Administrative Officer and will act on the complaints at public meetings only after failure of an administrative solution.
Thank you.
Peggy, can I just add, everybody has an acknowledgement of that at your place. If you could sign it and hand it to me before you leave tonight, that would be great. Thank you.
I'd like the board to consider the reorganization resolution. Number one, approve Robert's Rules of Order as parliamentary procedures guide for the Westfield Board of Education. Does everybody, do we have to second that? Second, Kent. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we're going on to regular business. Lynn, do you have any announcements?
Yes, I do. Every year, hundreds of students prepare and audition for the Central Jersey Music Educators Association Regional Orchestra and Band. Our congratulations to the following students who have been selected to perform this month in either the Region 2 Orchestra or Band. CJMEA Region 2 Orchestra. Senior Kevin Lee, violin. Sophomore Kelly Egan, bass. Freshman Amy Shehow, violin. CJMEA Region 2 Band. Seniors Austin Chen, trumpet. Duncan Cook, trumpet. Carl Peter, trumpet. Juniors Valerie Chang, oboe. Tia Lemberg, oboe. Ian Gerland, percussion. Max Tennant, trumpet. Sophomores Kelly Jehow, bassoon. Aprina Wang, French horn. Robert Strauss, piccolo. Freshman Connor Daly, trombone. Congratulations also to the Westfield High School instrumental instructors, Christopher Vital, Trevor Sindorf, and Craig Stanton.
Please join the PTC Special Education Committee for an overview of special education law and changes that impact children with an individualized education program or IEP, and those seeking an IEP. The meeting will be held on Wednesday, January 16th at 7:30 p.m. at Edison Intermediate School.
Brandon?
Yes. This is a reminder that this month, the district is conducting kindergarten registration for the 2019-2020 school year for all children who are residents of Westfield and will reach the age of 5 on or before October 1st, 2019. First grade registration is also being held for children who are residents of Westfield and will reach the age of 6 on or before October 1st, 2019, and who have not yet attended the Westfield Public Schools. The registration schedule and forms can be found on the district's website on the Family Resources tab under Student Registration, starting tomorrow morning. There is also a student registration quick link in the top right corner of the district webpage.
Kent?
Yes, I have two. Congratulations to the 6 Westfield High School students who recently achieved the highest score possible on portions of the SAT and ACT standardized test. Top scorers on the December ACT are 11th graders James Encinas for Science and STEM, Spencer Rothfleisch for Science, and Julia Tompkins for English and Reading. Other top scorers included juniors John Zarnecki for Math on the December SAT, Max Tennant for Math, Science, STEM, and English on the October ACT, and 12th grader Matthew Soroti for Math for the August SAT. Congratulations to all. And secondly, the public is welcome to attend the 72nd Annual Washington School Show, Happily Ever After, with performances on Friday, January 25th at 8 p.m. and Saturday, January 26th at 1:30 and 7 o'clock p.m. at Roosevelt Intermediate School, 301 Clark Street in Westfield. Tickets are $14.50 and can be purchased from west.booktix.com. This family-friendly production is the Washington PTO's largest fundraiser each year, with funds raised going towards classroom resources, teacher grants, school enhancements, and additional programs to enrich the educational environment for the school's more than 300 students. The show was written, directed, choreographed, produced, and performed solely by parents, with the exception of the ever popular Teacher's Dance number. Thank you.
Gotcha.
So congratulations to the following student vocalists who will perform this month with the CJMEA Region 2 Chorus, following rigorous auditions in December that included the top musical talent from high schools in Hunterdon, Monmouth, Mercer, Somerset, Middlesex, and Union counties. The seniors are Charlotte Geary, Joseph Maldonado, and Matthew Soroti. The juniors are Daniel Andrade, Rosalind Garabet, Vincent Mora, and Rachel Seiden. Sophomores, Russell Cohen, Sam Horvath, Zaria Katz, Matthew Meixner, and Ashik Pallet. And freshmen, Anna D'Angelo, Kayla Lewison, and Joshua Madera. We applaud these accomplished students and, of course, their vocal instructors, John Brzezowski and Maureen Francis.
Thank you.
All right, well, this really brings it home that I've got your seat. All Westfield Public Schools and offices will be closed Monday, January 21st, in commemoration of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. On that date, the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Association of Westfield will observe its 32nd annual Interfaith Commemorative Service at 1 p.m. at the First Congregational Church at 125 Elmer Street in Westfield. The speaker will be author Stanley Talbert, who will speak on the topic of striving for the highest good, responding to acts of hatred. The student winners of the annual essay, poetry, and art contest will be announced at the ceremony. Prior to the service, the public is invited to join the annual processional walk at 12:30 p.m. from the Martin Luther King Memorial on the South Avenue Circle to the church through town, which is really pretty nice. I did it last year for the first time. Donations of non-perishable foods for the Westfield Food Pantry will be collected at the church and are appreciated.
Thank you. And I'd like to announce that the next meeting of the Westfield Board of Education will be held on Tuesday, January 22nd at 7:30 p.m. at 302 Elm Street. The complete agenda will be available on Friday, January 18th on the board section of the district website and in the business office at 302 Elm Street. Right. At this time, I'd like to recognize the public for agenda items only. Is anybody here? As I see no one coming to the podium, I'd like to turn the meeting over to Dr. Dolan and for the superintendent's report.
Thank you. So tonight we have a mid-year report on the district goals for this year. We have a long-term strategic plan in the district, and each year the board works cooperatively with the administration to develop usually about 3 district goals. So this is, again, a mid-year review on how we're doing on those goals. So the first goal has to do with addressing and promoting social and emotional learning and expanding it for consistency across the district. So each time we talk about this, I like to pause and make sure we all know what social and emotional learning is. It is just vital to all of our lives, and we want to make sure that our young people all of our students, from our youngest all the way through high school, are developing the knowledge, attitudes, and skills that are necessary to understand and manage one's own emotions, to set and achieve positive goals, to feel and show empathy for others, to establish and maintain positive relationships, and to make responsible decisions. Again, these are vital, and somehow in our modern world, where we're all so busy and we're all so focused on communicating in various ways, sometimes some of these skills don't seem to be as developed as well as they should be, which is why it's become, when we brought community members together to develop the strategic plan, we heard this from all aspects of the community, the importance of helping to develop these skills, both through the home, which is the main place where it's done, and also in our schools. So let me talk about a few of the things we've done regarding that this year. Over the summer, all of our administrators participated in professional development sessions on social and emotional learning. It was really an opportunity for all of us to work together to talk about what we were already doing and what are other ways that we can address this in our schools. At the end of that, we gave a survey and asked all the administrators to reflect on just that. What is it we're already doing, but maybe we need to do more consistently, and what are their gaps that we need to work on over this course of this year and future years? At the very, very beginning of the school year, all teaching staff members, all 800 or so of them, were made aware of this goal and the importance of it, regardless of what one's role is within the district. We're asking each person to focus on how can we help develop these skills and knowledge and attitudes. And then as the year progresses, we've been asking teachers, so share with us, what is it you're already doing? What are the books you're already working on? What are the discussions you're already leading? What are the writing examples that you are having students complete? What are the history lessons that students are learning to develop these skills? And that's still being compiled and still a work in progress, excuse me. So that work is ongoing, and we're reviewing that information. And we're continuing to provide professional development. Some of that's being done in department meetings, some of that's being done at school level, and some of it will continue to be done in our February and Service Day that's coming up, where all of our staff members participate in workshops throughout the course of the day. And then by the end of the year, we will have a summary that compiles the work, how we are addressing this in different subject areas and in different grade levels. I have to say, I'm very happy during the course of the year, we really do try to talk about these goals, both at these public meetings. We send out information in writing to parents and community members. And we talk about it at various parent meetings. Usually we have a better voice when we do that, but sometimes people get calls. I have to say the parent group in town, the major parent group, the Parent Teacher Council, which brings representatives from all the PTOs together, they heard us talking about it, and they asked if we could provide more information for parents. So first, we just put more information on our website. You can go to Family Resources, and you can find information about social and emotional learning. But then they also had what we thought was a great idea, and they asked if we could do some TED Talk type videos that we could then make available to all the parents, and we're in the midst of doing that. Some of them have already been taped, and other ones are scheduled to be taped next week, and we'll have a schedule coming out so that all parents can have a better understanding of the various social and emotional competencies that we're talking about. So that will be forthcoming in the next several weeks. Our second goal has to do with our new website. We completely revamped it, worked on it over the past year, and worked quite a bit over the summer to try to make sure that we were getting everybody on the same page. You can imagine in a district with 10 schools, we have quite a bit of information and quite a large number of pages on our website. So how do we keep a consistency, although a number of people are posting information on the website? So over the summer, we did set up the layout, and we did share the expectations with everyone who was responsible for sharing information on the website for their department or their office or their school. We provided training over the summer. And then we have identified 3 individuals to oversee the website pages for quality control. People like to be creative. How wonderful is that? But honestly, we want all of the Westfield pages to look alike. Whichever school you're in, Some parents may have children in 4 different schools, so we want there to be an ease of navigation of the pages, and all the pages have similar navigation so that parents don't have to waste time getting used to something new. So we have 3 people who are overseeing the consistency, and that would be Marianne McGann, who is here with us tonight, and also Janine Gotko, who is one of our tech specialists, and also Brian Auker, who's our Chief Technology Officer. All of them looking at different aspects of it, because it's something that needs constant attention to make sure that we are keeping consistency and ease of navigation. We continue to monitor compliance with Americans with Disability Act, so those who have a variety of disabilities, there are ways where our website is set up so they can know what is in the picture, even if they're not able to see the picture themselves. And we are constantly making sure that we're keeping that up to date. And we are constantly asking parents, as you come across something and you have trouble finding something, or you have a suggestion, or you don't understand something, please let us know. You can let the office of your school know, you can call the superintendent's office. But we want to make sure that this is a website that helps parents when they're trying to look for something. Some of the feedback we've already received, a lot of people really do like the look of it, the ability for the various pictures, which gives you a broader understanding of what our district, sometimes you get focused only on the school where your child is, right? But the website is trying to give you a sense of the district as a whole. And we've also found that not enough people are using the search feature. So if you're looking for something, it's the first time you're looking for it because your child is just getting to a certain age, do try the search feature. It probably will help you head in the right direction. Search feature on the previous website really was not useful, but this one is much better. So again, continued suggestions or feedback regarding the sites, please let us know. It's an ongoing work on our part, and we think it's important because we do want to make things easier, especially for parents to access. And the third goal. The third goal is to build an alumni database for alumni engagement and also outreach. And we've definitely taken the first few steps on this. We now have an alumni section on the new district website. It's under district information. It's the second one, and you'll see it there. It just says alumni. And we've used district social media to get that message out and ask people to register. When you do register on it, we verify that you are in fact a graduate of Westfield High School. We verify that that's the case. And we're not giving this information out to others, we're just keeping a list for ourselves. And what we're also doing is we're asking our graduates to register with us and then tell us about themselves, what's been going on, what's interesting, what would they like to share. And from that, we've culled a few potential stories about interesting alumni doing various things or living in various places. And we have done a template for a newsletter, and by the end of January, we will have our first newsletter available, made up of some information that some of our alumni have shared with us. And then we're going to see, all right, is this something, this is new for us. After we do at least the first one, we're going to see, is this something that's worthwhile? Does this benefit our schools? Is this worth the efforts? And we'll make a determination as of that. But to date, we're very happy with all of the alumni who have reached out and who have been telling us stories. It's interesting, because as you can imagine, we have alumni from many, many decades, and they have many, many stories, and some have stayed very close. Some live in the house they grew up in and are still down the street from their elementary school, and others are in far-flung areas, but still remember their time in Westfield. So it's been interesting so far, and I look forward to the next stages and to developing the newsletter.
Thanks, Dr. Dole. I think we made great progress on all of our district goals, and as an aside, my kids said that they had no story to tell anybody, so they were a little timid about it. But just for everybody to know, this spring we'll work on, seems amazing, it's just the beginning of 2019, but this spring we'll begin working on our district goals for our next school year of 2019 to 2020. So, I'd like the board to consider the minutes of our meeting of December 4th, 2018. December 4th, 2018, December 18th of 2018, and the private minutes of December 4th, 2018, and December 18th of 2018. Do I have a second?
Second.
Kent? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, abstentions? No? Okay. All right. I'm going to take care of personnel. We're starting off a new year, so we'll have new committees and new committee heads, but since most of this is all reporting on stuff from last year, whatever your committees were last year, you can finish up, and we'll move on to new committees at the next meeting. So I'd like the board to consider personnel items 1 through 19. Do I have a second?
Second.
Kent? Dr. Dolan, I think you have one retirement.
I do. Tonight, I'm announcing the retirement of Susan Kaplan. For almost 22 years, Susan has been an elementary special education teacher, first at Franklin and then at Wilson Schools. She has particularly enjoyed working with the first through third graders. Susie has worked with her students in both math and language arts and has supported young learners with kindness and patience. She is also the proud mother of 2 Westfield High School graduates and a devoted grandmother. We wish Susie well in her retirement as she spends more time with her family.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments on personnel items? Dana?
Lynn Benner,
Yes.
Mike Beelan,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Gretchen Olig,
Yes, although I abstain from item 12.
Peggy Astor,
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
Okay. Facilities.
That's me. We haven't had a meeting in a while. Dane, I don't know, is there anything to report in terms of the work that's being done?
I think at our December 4th meeting, we awarded a contract for the emergency generators at all the schools. We are actually going before the planning board on Monday night to present the plans for that. Although it's only really as a courtesy appearance, so I don't expect any issues with that. And we did already have a meeting with that, and preliminary work has begun on the field house and the bathrooms. So we're underway with that project as well. We have a number of them actually coming up in the next month or so, going out to bid.
Great. Long-range planning, Amy?
No report for tonight, but it's definitely one of those meetings we should get on the schedule once the dust settles of rearranging the furniture. And hopefully we can get something going pretty soon.
Policies, Brendan?
Yes, I have 6 items on the agenda tonight that all need to be voted on separately, which is lots of fun. I ask the board to approve policy item number 1. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Kent. Policy item number 1 is, looks like 8 or 9, almost 10 policies that are up for first reading from our last policy meeting. Just a quick rundown of them. 8221 emergency closings. Those are just minor changes to reflect our current board practice for noticing, announcing that school will be closed, inclement weather or similar. 8310 public records and 8320 personnel records are minor changes to reflect state law, with a new regulation being adopted. We're using the Strauss-Esme version instead of our own in-house regulation. 8441, 8442, 8451, and 8453 are all health-related, and Carol Stavitsky spent an incredible amount of time going through line by line and giving us very detailed updates to reflect best practices. So I thank her for that. And 8760, people accident insurance is, we're scrapping our own policy and adopting the Strauss-Esme version for that as well. Dana?
Lynn Benner,
Yes.
Mike Beelan,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan.
Yes.
Gretchen Olig.
Yes.
Peggy Astor.
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
Ask the board to approve policy item number 2.
Second.
Thank you, Kent. This is to abolish policy 8450, the use of defibrillators. We have that covered in other policies. We found it redundant. Any questions? Dana?
Lynn Benner,
Yes.
Mike Beelan,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan.
Yes.
Gretchen Olig.
Yes.
Peggy Astor.
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
And I ask the board to approve policy item number 3.
Second.
Thank you, Kent. I'm gonna beat you to it one day. Just thank you before you offer it. It's to approve for second reading the 2020-2021 school calendar as attached.
Lynn Benner,
Yes.
Mike Beelan,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan.
Yes.
Gretchen Olig.
Yes.
Peggy Astor.
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
And I ask the board to approve policy item number 4. Thank you, Kent. It's to approve for second reading policies 5440, honoring pupil achievement, 5751, sexual harassment of pupils, 7420, hygienic management, and the regulations there too. 7513, recreational use of playgrounds, and 7650, school vehicle assignment, use and tracking. Any questions?
No.
Dana?
Lynn Benner,
Yes.
Mike Beelan,
Yes.
Ken Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan.
Yes.
Gretchen Olig,
Yes.
Peggy Astor,
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
Brendan, before you move on, now that 5440 is enacted, because this was our second reading, that's going to be circulated to high school parents, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Ask the board to approve policy item number 5.
Second.
Thank you, Kent.
Lynn Benner,
Yes.
Mike Beelan,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan.
Yes.
Gretchen Olig,
Yes.
Peggy Astor,
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
And finally, ask the board to approve policy item number 6.
Second.
Thank you, Kent. Yes, sir.
Lynn Benner,
Yes.
Mike Beelan,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Gretchen Olig,
Yes.
Peggy Astor,
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
Can't debate it anyway.
Okay.
And that's it.
Thank you. Curriculum, Michael.
Oh, yes, we had our last curriculum meeting just before the Christmas break with the foreign language department and the math department. And want to ask to review first the approved district field trips that are in the attachment. Do I have a second?
Second.
Kent?
Lynn Benner,
Yes.
Mike Beelan,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan.
Yes.
Gretchen Olig,
Yes.
Peggy Astor,
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
Second item is to approve for the first reading for the following world languages: Mandarin, Chinese, 1, 2, and 3. World languages, 3, 4, 5. World languages, 1, and then world languages, 2. And I think there should be 3 for honors. It just says 2 and 2.
2 and 2 honors. I
2
think.
hours.
Oh, okay, I see it. Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Kent? Dana?
Lynn Benner,
Yes.
Mike Beelan,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan.
Yes.
Gretchen Olig,
Yes.
Peggy Astor,
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
So, Michael, can I just ask a question? Were these just updated in the normal course of the
Yeah, there
five-year
was no
calendar?
major changes to occur, just normal changes during the 5-year review.
Have we had Mandarin 3, Chinese 3 for,
Mandarin 3 has been added in, I think, maybe it's here 2 years now?
okay,
I talked about it.
Yeah, I think there's about 11 kids in the class right now.
so there's one section,
One section.
enrollment
One section,
study, and,
one teacher for all the Mandarin
Right.
classes. And, look at demand eventually for Mandarin 4, depending upon the overall interest.
Right. They discussed, it becomes a scheduling issue for a lot of kids.
right.
Since it's only offered once a day, as you're trying to build your schedule with all of your things as you get higher up in high school, it gets a little bit higher to be able to be free that one particular period. So, but they're hoping that, as it grows, it'll become more popular and kids will be able to adjust their schedule, maybe more classes. And I believe they said there is one child who went into, one student who is doing Mandarin 4 as an independent study class because they could not, there's not enough kids, but they did have the interest, and she's working with that student in an independent study purpose. So.
Great, okay, thank you.
And for the second reading, we need to want the board to approve for math, Algebra 2, Algebra 2 Advanced, and Algebra 2 Honors, Pre-Calculus, Pre-Calculus Advanced, and Pre-Calculus Honors. Have a second?
Second.
Kent?
Lynn Benner,
Yes.
Mike Beelan,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Gretchen Olig,
Yes.
Peggy Astor,
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
Before we move on, Dr. Dolan, particularly at the high school, do we keep track of interest in classes, not just enrollment? So, we're talking about possibly expanding Mandarin, for instance. But enrollment's down because not everybody can fit it into their schedule. Do we Do they keep track of how many kids would take it if it were offered all day? Or
Right, so,
or more?
so coming up in, you know, it's still in the winter months is when the
Mhm.
students pick their courses for next year, and then that's the first round when you determine and you look at numbers and see how it works. So yes, and a really integral part of that are the counselors paying attention to, for their particular students in their group,
Mhm.
what are the courses that those students really had intended to take, but they can't because, you know, depending on what your interests are in high school, you could have a number of courses that are singletons that aren't scheduled,
Right.
right? So they absolutely discuss that and see if they can, you know, if they can change something for next year, can they make a change for the following year?
Right.
And it is one of the downsides, in a way, of having kind of a smaller group of kids at a higher level at the high
Mhm.
school. Typically, it would be seniors that would take a class like a Mandarin 4, and it's just a smaller class this year than the group that were seniors last year. That may have something to do with it as well, in terms of critical mass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you pass the language requirements to graduate and everything else, so the numbers continue to dwindle after the second year. Imagine it only gets worse.
Right. But nice that there's an avenue for the truly committed who really
Right,
want to pursue it with
Absolutely.
independent study.
Yeah, there was one student, I think, taking 3 or 4 languages.
Mm.
It was German, Mandarin,
Mm.
English, and one of the, it's amazing.
It's a future world language supervisor.
Now, we always do have some students who take a number of languages for a number of reasons, right? And a number of
But
things you can do
the
with that.
Mandarin 1s and 2s were both, you know, fully, not fully, but, you know, had a good enrollment in it.
Right.
Robust.
Yeah. So,
Thank you.
Finance, in Charles's absence, and before we change committees, would you like to?
Sure,
hit on
happy
finance
to do
first?
it. I would like to ask the board to approve finance items 1 through 15. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Brendan. Before we vote, I'd like to acknowledge and accept or acknowledge gifts from various donors. First, a gift of $10,130 from an anonymous donor to purchase 30 Hewlett-Packard Chromebooks and a charging card for Franklin. A gift of the same amount from the Franklin School PTO to purchase the exact same gift. So I guess they're getting 60 and 2 charging cards, correct? That's
Yes.
great. A gift of $1,255.80 from the Franklin School PTO to be used to partially fund new xylophones for Mr. Geyer's music class. And gifts from the Westfield Coalition of the Arts, $1,112.99 to purchase choral folders for Edison Intermediate School Music Department, and $1,665.10 to purchase a Studio 49 Series 2000 xylophone for the Franklin School Music Department. That sounds serious. And those are wonderful gifts, and we, as always, we thank both the PTOs and the various community groups for their generous donations to the schools. They will be well used and loved. Any questions, anything else on finance that we need to call out? Okay. Dana?
Lynn Benner,
Yes.
Mike Beelan,
Yes.
Ken Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Gretchen Oleg,
Yes.
Peggy Oster,
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
The last one is technology, and we met in, before the holiday with Brian and Paul, and the majority of our meeting was, Brian was presenting to us our current monitoring system for our software. And I think Michael and Kent, if you want to jump in, he went into great detail as to the safety, you know,
Yeah, we get a lot of threats, and just it's not just the school district, it's really any company or any school district gets a lot of threats from all different organizations, I don't even call them organizations, I don't know what to call them, hackers, if you will. And it's all the various types of things. Some of them are very mild threats, just someone types the wrong password in where they're trying to get in. But other ones can get more serious, such as denials of service where they're trying to actually impact access to our network. That's one side of it, but the other side of it is just making sure that our schools are safe from a child perspective, and making sure we're continually scanning all the files that are on our servers to make sure that there is nothing in there that's out of the ordinary, that people are writing things that could potentially be a threat to other students. And it even goes as far as, like, for example, with skin tones. If there's pictures that have more than enough amount of skin tones. We can pick that up and check if there's any instance of certain images that we don't want to have on our servers. So there's a variety of different scans and things that are going on to make sure that all of the files that we're storing in our district continually to remain secure. So that's a quick summary.
And, I mean, I felt very comfortable that, you know, Brian was on top of it, that, you know, when there was additional security needed, he was looking at different products, different filters to put into the system and so forth. And as Michael said, he talked about skin tones, he talked about words that come up more often when a student's reading a book.
Right.
Maybe it's Romeo and Juliet, and then the filters will bring up certain words that are part of Romeo and Juliet because of the story, and because the kids are writing about it, and how his filters all of a sudden just, you know, click on and so
And
forth.
one point I'll express that a lot of the things that we found are just like minor threats, like Peggy just mentioned with Romeo and Juliet. And there's different, we're continually alerted, and that's why he's refining these filters to reduce the amount of alerts that we receive. You can receive low, medium, and high threat alerts. And all we have received as far as the district goes is low alerts, meaning they're just words that we've come across during normal operation. We've not had any kind of medium or high alert issues that have been reported. But he is alerted to everything. So if something did occur, he would immediately know because it's part of our reporting and alert system that we have in place.
I'm confused about the skin tone thing. Help me understand, so what's it scanning for?
Well, if certain pictures are coming across through anything in the district websites, that there's too much skin in the picture.
Oh.
I was trying to be
All right.
mild.
Yeah, I got you.
Not meaning the color of anybody's skin, but rather
I understand,
too
okay.
much of somebody's skin.
The surface area.
Not the clothing.
Less clothes,
Okay.
more skin.
Thank you for clarifying.
I was being intentionally obtuse.
So don't take a selfie in front of a tan wall.
I mean, it was a great meeting. I think we
Yeah,
were
it
very
was.
interactive, finding out a lot of information from Brian, and he is a wealth of knowledge for our district, and it was a great opportunity for all of us. And, you know, we go into the new year with another new technology committee and meeting with him this year, so we look forward to that. I'm just getting used to the flipping back and forth from my notes to the.
No, we also
I
talked
apologize.
about Newsella. Paul talked to us about
Newsella. Paul
Newsella.
talked a little bit about Newsella, but I think he owes us a little bit more.
Yeah.
We kind of got excited about Brian and all the technology stuff, and then at the end we're like, oh yeah, Paul wants to talk about Newsella. He thought he got off easy, but I'm pretty sure at the next meeting you're going to be talking about it more in depth.
All right, you can't just say Newsella and not tell us
What
what
is
it
it?
is. Right, what's Newsella?
Do you want to?
Sure.
I mean, I could try, but
Oh, there you go.
you get your fingers in it.
Yeah, I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No,
I just-
it's fine.
He likes to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, hi, good evening. So the district really, teachers have been using it for a number of years, and there's a free version of it that is very serviceable, but they've just kept building and building their resources. So what Newsella is they have sort of like an army of retired educators or employees that scour news sources in every content area that we teach within. And they will pull from those resources and create and share the actual resources themselves, but they also rewrite them at different grade levels. So they have to get the rights from all the different publications they pull from, and then they can enter into their system to do a whole number of things. And that includes revising it for different reading levels, levels of difficulty, but it also becomes something that can be interactive between the teacher and the student. They can pop up boxes, quizzes that are embedded within the articles, quizzes that go alongside with it. It's very integrative, it's very dynamic, and our teachers have been excited about it, our administrators are excited about it. So we're piloting it for the rest of this year, which means, for a limited cost. And then if it goes well, which it already is, we will subscribe going forward for the entire district. So, yeah, that's it in a nutshell. It's really exciting stuff, so.
So if you went into this Newsella and it was a major story, and I can't think of one off the top of my head, and you wanted to discuss it in third grade, it would allow you to have bring the major articles down to a third grade level, but then if you wanted to discuss it at high school, it would be looking at it at a different level?
So that's the premise. I guess there might be certain topics, though, that would just be not accessible to a student in third grade if it's, something that's appropriate for a student maybe at the high school level. But that being said, based on how they operate, they could do it if it were accessible and appropriate.
Like if it was I'm just trying to think, like the anniversary of John F. Kennedy's assassination, so everybody was focusing in on that.
Yeah.
Did-
I think they would probably pull from something, a resource or periodical that's more inclined, like, National Geographic World when I was a kid versus National Geographic. Now I'm really dating myself, but they had the two different versions for younger kids and older kids. So it might be something more like that. Yeah, we were having presenters come in for the February in-service to do overview and training. Actually, they're going to train the trainers in January this month, and then those trainers will work in February at the in-service to show all the dynamic capabilities of it. Yeah,
How current are the news stories they work with? So if something happens.
daily.
Oh, so it's,
Yeah.
something happens this morning and tomorrow they can talk about it in the classroom.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing because if you think about it, the human element to it and the intuitive aspects of it, of having all these educators and talented writers be involved with it and anticipating what teachers would want and what students would benefit from is great. So the technology is huge in it, but it's the best of human expertise as well. It's not just a keyword thing, like so much. This is exciting stuff. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Sorry to put you in this spot.
But I hope the technology committee, looks at it more. I'd like you to be able to see a couple of examples and so forth in the future, when you have time at a meeting, so.
We'll show you.
But moving on, I'd like the board to consider the notes for the record. Do I have a second?
Second.
Dana? Do we have to?
No.
approve
You don't have to
this?
do anything with that.
Okay.
No.
We just
Any-
know.
We just know. Any questions or comments? Okay. Do we have any unfinished business that need to be looked at? No? Any new business? No? With that being said, I'd like to recognize the public for questions and comments. Would anybody like to come forward? No, seeing nobody come to the podium, we will be moving into private session, and I would like to approve the following resolution. Be it resolved that the Board of Education move into private session for the purpose of discussing matters rendered confidential by state and federal law and harassment, intimidation, and bullying incidents, and be it further resolved that any discussion held by the board which need not remain confidential and results of the discussion will be made public as soon as practicable. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you,
Don't
Dana.
forget that part.